So anyway, I'm playing Jet Moto, right? And I'm riding on this jet motorcycle, and I'm hurtling through different terrain: snow, concrete, ocean, jungle. I mean, when you got that kind of power between your legs, you don't know what to expect.
Phrasing. Man, it's a really good thing that Sony had a Wipeout, because this game sure as hell isn't giving F-Zero a run for its money. Hell, this game doesn't even give Wave Race 64 a run for its money, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Jet Moto. This game was created by a studio called Single Track, which is actually what became of the team behind the first two Twisted Metal games. Their original intention was to create a motocross racer, but during development they had a hard time getting the physics right, and basically what they decided to do was just take the wheels off the motorcycle and make it a hoverbike racer. And that fit pretty well with, the 90s at the time. They basically made it into an extreme sports racing game, a futuristic one. And it did pretty well. Jet Moto was a really popular racing game at the time, but it's one of those games that hasn't held up terribly well in retrospect. So for starters, remember how I said that Wipeout had a very distinct style to it with its techno-pop soundtrack and its more grounded depiction of a racing league? Well, Jet Moto is very much in line with what you expect from an extreme sports 90s game at the time. Lots of flying guitar, lots of over-the-top characters and personalities, and a crap ton of product placement. I mean, you're looking at this right there. There's a freaking Mountain Dew logo on that guy's racing jacket. And yeah, there is a charm to that, but no, I find it a little unappealing in Jet Moto for whatever reason. It just kind of feels like I'm being marketed to in a bad way, which I'm never a big fan of. It also doesn't help that the presentation isn't all that great. It's very rough around the edges. The levels, the draw addition is pretty bad, and though there is a nice variety with the levels, and it is pretty cool that there are so many different terrains that you can race on, it's just never all that easy on the eyes. As for the gameplay, it is a pretty standard racing game. The main difference from other racing games is you're racing on hover bikes as opposed to, like a car or a motorcycle. And with that comes a variety of different terrains. You can race across water, you can race through forests, streets, all kinds of stuff. You have the ability to speed up. You have a gravity tether, which you can use to make tighter turns. And it is all finicky as all hell. This game just doesn't handle all that well. And though you can probably get good at it, it just never worked as well as something like Wipeout, and especially F-Zero or Wave Race 64. I get the sense that they focused a lot on the style and premise of this game, but then didn't spend a whole lot of time on the design, especially in the later levels, which just are not designed all that well with how the game plays. It still can be fun, especially with friends, but, all this made me want to do is just play Wave Race 64, which, just completely trounces this game in any regard. Despite how I feel about the game, Jet Moto was actually pretty popular back in the day. It was one of the better selling PlayStation games. It would get a full trilogy on the console. And there were even plans to do a game for the PS2, but that ended up not happening, and, well, I don't think Single Track lasted much longer after that. Since then, Jet Moto has remained a fan favorite on the PlayStation, though as you can probably tell, this isn't really my game. I wasn't terribly impressed with it, and I'm probably never going to play it again. But if you're a big fan of this game, all the power to you, because there are worse games you can play. This one just isn't for me. But that's going to do it for Jet Moto, guys. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as we take a look at the next game in the PlayStation Retrospective.